10 runners participating in the 100-meter race in the Olympics. These 10 have the same goal, which is to win the first place and get the gold medal. 9 of them will fail to achieve this goal and only 1 will succeed. As well as life, many of us share the same goals and only few of us succeed in achieving them. So the idea is not to only set goals in life. Not setting goals does not necessarily mean achieving them. There are secrets, and today we will learn these secrets that help us achieve our goals by an explanation of the book Atomic Habits by the author James Clear. This book will give you a sure and guaranteed system to control your mind and make it do the thing you want from it. And now let's ask a question together. How can small habits make a big difference in your life? When we talk about success, many of us take the wrong path. They focus on the final goal instead of focusing on the journey and the path they will go through to reach that goal. And they think that big decisions are what will get them to the final destination. But this is very far from reality, because 1% of improvement per day will make you 37 times better. But if you reject this 1%, you'll remain at 0. In other words, small habits are what make the difference. And we often do not care about small habits. And change does not happen right away, but it does along with accumulations. If you eat unhealthy food, for example, like for once, this does not mean that you will become unhealthy. But if you eat unhealthy food at dinner, after a year it is necessary to see the results of this habit and become fat. And at the same time, if you train for 30 minutes a day, this will not make you a professional athlete or a world champion directly, but the passage of the time will give you great results. Results in life are a measure of habits. The net financial wealth of any person is a measure of the financial habits in which he lives. The health of any person is a measure of eating habits in which he lives. And from here we can conclude that time and the accumulation of habits is what increase the rate of success or failure. And the small daily choices that we live in are what will determine our future and how these small habits that may not be seen and not taken care of. Small habits have greater impact than we think. So if you want to know where your life will go, you can review your daily choices and small habits that you do. Bad habits can demolish your life and ruin it and make it a wreck. And positive habits can change your life and make you successful. So you have to start changing small habits that you do not feel in the first place, and that will become habits in the future that give you great results. For example, if you are a person who wakes up in the morning without washing his teeth or taking care of them, this will lead you over time to lose your teeth and be exposed to severe pain. Then life will force you to visit the dentist and pay a lot of money. You can avoid this big future problem that is likely to occur by simply brushing your teeth every morning when you wake up to wash your face. And this habit will not take you more than 30 seconds only. Part 2. How habits form. How many times have you started a new habit? Maybe going to swim or the gym or learn a new skill. But after days or weeks, these habits become a problem. Because the habit is a challenge. You live and the challenge is not easy. Your mind always chooses comfort and things that help it to do so. And this is what makes starting new always difficult and continuing with it harder than that. If you sleep and live in your room and get food and get dopamine also easily by holding your phone, so what will make your brain face the experience of feeling tired, exhausted and painful in order to get that sweet prize, that dopamine? Everything is there and paved in front of you, so your mind will not support you on this idea. So most people try to change habits in the wrong way, or try to change things that they should not change. And to change our habits, we must understand how these habits are formed. And the writer James Clear gives us 4 steps, and these steps are: first, the hint or gesture; second is eagerness or desire; third is the response; and fourth is the reward. If you are good at driving a car, you know that you are driving it unconsciously from you. Driving a car has become a habit for you. When you ride a car, this is the signal you give to your brain that it is time to move from one place to another. The second step is strong desire, which is your desire to change your place and go to another place. And here comes the role of the response, which is in a routine way. Your driving of a car is a routine or habit that was formed for you because you gave a signal to your mind. You give a signal to your mind that you ride a car and desire in moving from your place, which you need a routine response from him, speaking of the mind. And all of this is in order to reach a reward, which is the goal or the place you want to reach. And these steps are applied in any habit. Another example, when you wake up in the morning, you will hold your phone and browse Instagram, for example, for half an hour. And what you do is a habit formed for you because you want to get the reward of dopamine that your brain secretes while watching photos or videos on these sites. Over time, you will do all these steps unconsciously, specifically when you wake up. Waking up is the signal that your brain needs. Then you have a desire to get an easy dopamine, and this is what will lead your brain to respond. Use the phone, browse Instagram, and then you will get the reward represented in the videos and the photos that you will see. And here, by repetition, you will have this habit that will take your daily half an hour or an hour in the morning. And this is what will make you waste your time without reaching a real value or benefit. Of course, not all habits are bad, but when we adopt a bad habit, we will see it damages after years, and it will be difficult to overcome these habits because they dig into your subconscious mind, as we said last time in the subconscious mind video. And for this, you have to understand the core and the reason for this habit so that you can change your desires, your reaction, and the reward you will get. And now we will talk about the steps that can help you make better habits. The first step is to make it clear. When the signals occur in front of you, of course, you'll have to do it immediately. But when you know that our actions are affected by stimuli, then you can control yourself to build new and better habits. For example, there was a doctor at a large hospital in Boston who thought of changing the diet of her staff and patients in the hospital. So she went to a juice vending machines that contained only juice and added water bottles. And after 3 months, she increased the percentage of people who buy water by 25%, while the percentage of buying soft drinks decreased by 11%. And all this happened due to small changes, the most important of which are signals. The doctor made a kind of a signal to drink water. Previously, when people entered the hospital saw soft drinks only, but she created a new type of signal for them by adding water. And here the habit of drinking water began. And the strongest sensory ability in humans is the sense of sight. The human body has 11 million sensory receptors, and 10 million of these receptors is used in the sense of vision. In other words, visual cues are one of the strongest motives and the strongest signals that can create habits, meaning that few of the things we see can give a change greater than the things we do. Unfortunately, we can change the environment in which we live to an environment in our favor. Let's say, for example, you want to get a habit of jumping with a rope, and this habit is difficult for you to continue. All you have to do is put a rope in the middle of the house and in place where you can see it when you wake up. This will motivate you and give you a signal to do it. If you want to instill yourself the habit of reading books, bring a book and place it near your sleeping place or in your desk where you can see it all the time. If you have something you want to do or gain a habit of doing, you have to make visual cues for it. Also, there is another type of visual cues, which is intention. Intention to do habits. There are statistics that show that people who are asked when they go vote, most of them actually go to vote. You want to go train? Don't say I'll go train or I have to start training, but say I'll start training on Sunday, Monday or Friday after the end of work. Give yourself a visual signal and specify the time you will do. You want to go to the gym? Well, you're going on Monday after work. Put your things in the front seat of the car and you will go to the gym after you finish your work because you have provided all the necessary signals to your mind to facilitate this process for you. Step 4. Make it look attractive. Every day we encounter new signals such as food, clothes, entertainment, or anything else. And these signals may be more attractive than the signs of habits that we want to build or want to get. Here we will fall into a big problem. New habits may cancel out the habits that we sought to obtain. The habit that seems most attractive is the habit that has the most chances that we will adopt it. Your brain only releases dopamine when we expect to get a reward without doing it at all. So we have to employ this knowledge in our favor. The more you are excited to do something, the more likely you are to continue doing it. And the best way to get yourself excited to do something is temptations. And the temptations are to associate something you like with a habit you want to acquire. And here the author told us the story of Runner Byrne, a programmer who wanted to acquire a new habit, which is the habit of sports. And there he had a treadmill at home. He wanted to use it badly, but laziness prevents him from doing so. And he knew that he was a big fan of movies and series, so he decided to connect the treadmill with a movie watching application. So he had to reach a specific speed of running in order to be able to run the application, so he can exercise and watch the series that he likes at the same time. And of course this example is exaggerated, and you don't need to do all of this. You don't need to be a programming engineer to be able to control your habits, but you can do easy things that help you build new habits in the long run. All you have to do is reach a set of temptations that can push you to form the habits you want to get. Combine the habit you want to acquire with the temptations you love. If you like listening to podcasts as an example and want to acquire the habit of walking for an hour or two, you can walk while listening to podcasts at the same time, so you can reconcile two things, one you want and the other you love. Step 5 to get a habit. Make it easy. But how? One of the professors from the University of Florida was teaching photography, gave his students a homework and divided them into two teams, each of them and its mission. The first team had to collect a large number of pictures, while the second team asked them to bring him only one picture, but it must be perfect. And of course the first team is the one who got the highest points. But why? The first team had a project based on quantity, and this is what made them take too many pictures, and this is what improved their skills without feeling it. But the second team focused all their efforts on one photo to be perfect. And this same thing applies to our habits. Many people get lost looking for the best ways to acquire habits, but they do not take steps. They'll continue to search and plan for the best habit to acquire, but thus they waste a lot of time. So the best way to acquire habits that seem unattainable is not to consider how long it will take to acquire them. Make them easy and start applying them directly. And we are by nature humans. Humans are excited to do easy things, and the more effort we will put into getting something, the less likely we will do it. It may be impossible for you to make acquiring a habit difficult, but I'll explain to you how we can, so don't worry. The author James Clear told us that he and his wife used to find it difficult to send congratulation messages on birthdays. It may seem easy, but in his eyes, getting out of the house and buying holiday cards and then writing them and sending them is impossible. So his wife bought a large amount and stored them at the home. And whenever an occasion approaches, they take out those cards and write on them. And then if one of them is going to work, he sends them on his way to work. And this process has become easy for them. And you can use this method also to defeat your bad habits. There is what is called the 2-minute rule, where you can divide a habit into small parts. And your intention is to do this small part. For example, instead of saying that you will study the full lesson today, you'll say that you will only study the summary. And this will make your start easy. As an example, you can also put the goal of working for 10 minutes on your project or the video you want to put on YouTube or anything. You'll start with 10 minutes, and then you'll find yourself setting for a full hour, and you will get better results than expected. So it will seem easy to you and will give you a start, and this start will allow you to get better results. So make habits easier for yourself to be able to acquire them. The final step to building a habit is to make it satisfying. How to make it satisfying? This step is the reason for the success of toothpaste companies. They understood this and applied it to their products. For example, they added mint flavor to the paste, and this is what made people feel fresh when brushing their teeth. And this is what makes it really satisfactory. If the experience was not satisfactory, it cannot be continued. And to explain this more, I will tell you the story of Stephen Lobby. Stephen Lobby was working in Pakistan as a public healthcare researcher. Diseases were widespread in his period, but he was able to reduce diarrhea in young children by 52% and succeeded in reducing pulmonary inflammation by 48% and skin diseases by 35%. Believe it or not, Lobby was able to do all these miracles by giving pieces of soap to the residents of the neighborhoods. The residents of the neighborhoods knew the value of soap but could not acquire the habit of daily washing with it. And this is what Stephen Lobby understood. So he bought a high quality soap and a beautiful and comfortable smell. And this is what made the soap experience for the residents a comfortable and satisfying experience, and made it easier for them to acquire the habit. Overnight, the residents of the neighborhoods washed their hands with soap twice a day, and this was the main reason for lack of diseases and in all positive results. But washing teeth and hands gives us immediate satisfaction, unlike many other difficult habits. It is possible to go to the gym daily but without losing weight or getting muscles until after many months or years. On the other hand, habits that give you immediate satisfaction can give you serious consequences in the long run. This applies to smoking, which may last 20 years in order to destroy you and destroy your life. And this is the reason why many do not quit smoking, as smoking is beautiful and comfortable for them, especially since the consequences are not immediate. Simply, if you want to adopt a habit, focus on the immediate satisfaction that you will get from it. The author says that his friends were suffering from the problem of eating outside the home, and in order to stop this habit, they opened a bank account and called it a trip to Europe. Every day they did not eat outside, they put $50 in the account. They continued for a while, and whenever they saw money increase in that bank account, they felt immediate satisfaction because they accumulated money in front of them, and in the end they got a long-term reward, which is a trip to Europe indeed. These are the steps to build habits, and if you have any criticism or an advice for me in this content, in the voice perhaps or the way of delivering these book summaries, I hope you can put your opinion in the comments, because I needed to develop myself and develop the content. In the end, many people think that success is based on acquiring big habits and making big changes, but the truth is that all we need is small changes and acquiring small habits, as these small habits will determine our life path. Building habit is a difficult thing, but we can make it easier for us by spreading signals in our surroundings. Since you continue to this point, I am sure that you are in the right way and that you are interested in developing yourself. force off, you'll reach your goal and succeed in achieving it. Today's book is over and we'll meet you in another book. Beatbooks was here and see you in the next one.